daddy's sitting on this side. One question. Yeah, the daddy's on this side. The daddy. Yeah, Smokey, not true. No, we just talking it into existence now. Daddy's to be them fellas. And yeah, that's a, yeah. Here's Smokey, I didn't know that boy. One lesson that your father taught you. Hey, boy. So we're at the rooftop of Red 96.7. I am with DJ Smokey, DJ Nako, Shaika, Travis. But no catch myself at 2 DJs and 2 announcers. Balance. Marshall say everything is balanced. As you all know, it's Men's Mental Awareness Month, and I found it fit to get a closer insight or a deeper conversation with persons we pass through or we communicate with on a regular basis. You know, it's always good to have men. You feed off of each other, you share insights, you share experiences, and it's just going to be a conversation where we center around manhood, fatherhood, different issues of men's social status, and how you all just maneuver throughout life. These guys are not shy, so I know this is going to be a free-flowing conversation. So I'm going to sit back, rock back. I don't know who pants is tighter, if it's Nako, if it's Smokey, if it's Nako. But I don't know. Travis and I just missed the cue with wearing our shades, but we'll have a next time for that.
We didn't plan this.
Yeah.
I went for mine.
I know, friend. I know, because you know. And everybody, no. Everybody in Regal. The next one is the hub.
We come in here to come correct. Tameeka, you know.
Mama kiss them on a different level, you know.
Tameeka put you out cheating.
You understand?
Here, cool, let's do that. But on a real, how are they going?
I go, you know. It all depends on the days. It depends on the day. Sometimes you have a good day, sometimes you really have a good day. It all depends on the day. Sometimes it's just be tiring. There are so many things going on at the same time.
How you going is a question. How often do you guys get asked that question? How you going?
That's the most annoying question. How are you going? Because if I tell you I'm going good, you do for me.
You know that strange
Okay.
say that, right? I don't believe so. It depends on who asks you.
I agree with that.
Alright, fair
It depends on
enough.
who asks you how you going.
But that's the average question. Somebody was,
If you have a significant other, a significant other asks you, how you going? How you going today? And you answer the question, it'll be about today is not really
Would
good.
you really?
Huh?
Would you really?
Would you really what?
Answer. Be honest and say, well,
For me, yeah.
I think it's about a cliche response, everybody respond.
I
cool.
It depends on
I good by
normal.
Smokey's favorite line.
Normal.
Smokey's favorite
For me,
line.
it all depends on who asks me, you know.
Yeah.
Who asks me the question, I answer.
and we gotta keep it together. Yeah?
all the time.
That is strain we carrying. You gotta keep it together. So, are we ready there, man?
Just a wait. Let us unpack that. We have to keep it together. Because some of the social norms for men is that they have to be providers and protectors. You have to show up regardless. Favorite term, manner. Which means, in my interpretation, is despite anything you have going on, you have to be a man. Men, everybody here face that. Everybody here understand that, right?
Yeah.
How do you all process that? Because that is just something society threw on men and expect men to just live up to it. How do you all process that?
I think it's on a situational basis. Like for me, I don't think every adverse event or every situation will require the same type of response from you.
True.
You know what I
Same
mean?
amount of energy.
Exactly.
True.
So it's a very calculated thing. As men, we have to be sometimes you have to know when to be calm when there's chaos, and then sometimes you have to be calculated to know that you see this time I don't let him have it. You know what I mean? You can pardon most times, but sometimes
Let
people
them have it.
really need to be told, boy. Yeah, let them have it.
Let them have
You
it.
don't have it. See, you still gotta keep it together. Always gotta be kept together. You gotta keep it together.
No, it's true. And I mean, it could be small situations. It could be on the road. You know, sometimes you're driving.
Nah, you have to let them have it there.
Nah,
You have to.
So you ought to know when. All right, go ahead now, uncle. Maybe you ain't seeing too properly. Go ahead now, uncle. And then sometimes you get some kind of drives and you realize it might be from a maxi driver. You know, nah,
Yeah,
that's too
that-
reckless. Let them have it.
Yeah.
So as a man,
I like that line. Let them have it.
you have
No,
to be
let
able
them
to
have
know
it.
what situation called for which version are you.
Who agreeing with that?
Definitely.
That is, but always measured.
Very much.
So it's always,
Yeah.
again, you gotta keep it together because at certain times, even with letting them have it, it's to what extent you let them have it.
Facts.
and I think Smokey might be able to do this. When you're sure it's something come.
I've tried. Try.
Shy.
Smokey,
So you alone in the children category. We have child. I think I.
when you have a child or children,
Uh-huh.
is different because you always have to show regardless of how
Yeah.
you feel. Whoever
Yeah.
it could be having you, as I say, it could be having your worst day ever. Your child needs something.
Yeah.
You have to show up for your child or your children.
But I personally, and I believe as well you all would agree. So me, I watch it as motivation. You know, to keep it going.
Yeah.
You understand? You
Yeah.
gotta keep going. So whether you don't want to come down for 6, you have to get there.
You have to get there, but
You have to get there.
You have to let them have it.
come to work for 6.
Yes.
On
Only start
time.
there.
On
Yes.
time.
Sure, you want to stress on that again? On time? That's how people live on time now.
Oh. You're letting them have it. I find Nako letting them have it.
That will be good, boy.
No, but Smokey raised a very valid point in terms of having something to motivate you. And it may not be a child or children, but
It could be a
it could be a
circumstance or a
different, yeah.
situation.
To become the better version of yourself, I have to do X.
Yes.
And that happens most times. But I feel like we are at a point where you all do express all yourselves. Correct, stop me when I'm wrong. I feel like we're at a point where you all do express all yourselves. I feel like we're at a point where society makes you all believe that if you open up and you talk about things, you feel you come across as weak. I feel like I don't know if men have friends that they're truly comfortable being 100 with.
I have friends like that.
Look at that.
I have a few.
Yeah, I have friends like that.
It's not
And
any
I have-
and everybody.
Yeah.
But
every one went through a situation where they confide in somebody and they just take whatever it is they confide in them and they turn it back against you.
Yeah.
So that is one of the reasons why
Yeah.
a lot of men do it
When you're friendly,
Yeah.
remember my personal business, which on radio at the time.
Sure.
real. Yeah.
Sure.
Real?
The radio station we working on. I say, hey, get rough.
How much time you sell it once? You know where it come from?
Yeah,
Source?
of course.
So then betrayal makes men close in even more.
Yeah.
Plenty. Yeah, but betrayal is a factor and big men close. When men expose themselves, which is basically halfway up, because for example, it's cool and the norm for a man to be bareback, right? So he exposed and he cool with that. But the moment when he had to let out a little more,
Jockey
and-
short.
Right, well,
Right.
boxers.
Boxers.
But it's not just when you go from there down one and you expose yourself to that level, then you wonder, well,
What's happening?
who's seeing, what
Yeah.
happening, how it
Who
look,
judging?
who judging. So you had to hold it back to a certain level to make sure it's right.
All right, 3 simple questions. Anybody has been in therapy?
You mean?
You?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just,
Serious.
yeah.
Wow.
Serious.
Come on.
What made you chart that course?
The understanding that, I think you need help.
Wow.
Because you gotta identify when it not necessarily so serious, but again comes like trust and opening up. Because this setting here in sense of therapy. You know?
Yeah.
So this is a therapy session that we a nice cool level. However, but I have chosen professional help, especially we passing on my dad. And
Wow.
that kind of opened up a whole different mindset and how things will go, how we interact with people, how I deal with folks in terms of like me talking to you again. So I had this dread thinking, my father would never talk to me again. So me don't care if you talk to me.
Yeah.
That energy not good.
Yeah.
So then you seek help and make sure you're in the right path before you flick that switch and trip off.
Body boy.
Come on.
Body boy. Nako, what forced you to
Life, that would have been around COVID time.
right?
So a lot of things was going on with me at that same exact time. So remember during COVID, you can't go anywhere. You have nothing to escape. Because normally my escape would have been I take a little drive, turn on some music, wine on the glass, you get some fresh air, you just go. At that point in time, you're locked in your house, can't do nothing, can't go nowhere. What? I was going through it, but I just stayed right now, but I had to talk to somebody, but have to, because thoughts that would reach in your mind wasn't nice thoughts. So I reached a stage where I had to talk to somebody. Had to.
Striker and Smokey, you all ever been there?
No, I was advised at one point some years ago by everybody who know me to go to therapy, and I didn't. To this date, I never did it. Not that it wouldn't have helped. I strongly believe for people that really overwhelmed and you feel like you need that support, go do it. But I had a kind of confidence about myself, and in what I was going through, I felt like I didn't want to go and do a session to get any, this is my thing, right?
Yeah.
Textbook advice or instruction on how to deal with it, because I feel like only somebody who would have gone through this could really tell me how to deal with that. It was that bad, So I didn't go down the therapy route. Instead, I went inside. I started to spend a lot of time with myself, take accountability for my actions, and I understood exactly what contributed to the whole mess.
Right.
So I felt after a while, after some time, when you get over the initial, emotions and things involved with it, I started to feel like I understood what the situation was. I dealt with it. I man up, I cried when I had to cry, and I really cried. I pray a lot, and then being the type of person who, instead of just staying in a problem, you start to be solution oriented. Like, how do I fix this? How do I move forward? And just step by step, it was a process, and I was able to get back to a place where I felt okay again. And I did that without therapy. Again, as Trinidadians say, go for luck is not super luck.
Agree.
So I would still advise people, if you feel overwhelmed,
Who needs it takes it.
and you need
Take
to
it.
talk to somebody,
Yeah.
do that.
Smokey, how would you define manhood? Or being a man?
Well, firstly, I'd say upbringing has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
I feel as though everybody's
Culture.
everybody's culture, everybody's terms and conditions is different, right? So, what may necessarily work for me may not necessarily work for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Again, as I said, terms and conditions. So, for me personally, just to go back on what Striker was saying, I'm not that type of person to really be vocal about how I feel. You understand? For the simple fact of, I personally believe, based on the kind of trials and tribulations I went through in my life and that I've overcome, I'll figure it out. I will be alright. Right? So, but again, that works for me.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes it may not necessarily be working for me,
But
I still keep in the faith.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
You will be alright.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what works for me.
you.
So we're back to the manhood side of things. Taman.
oh, it's a woman and it's
And
a
a
woman.
woman.
Yeah.
Right? And Shaika said accountability. A lot of men don't take accountability for their actions. Right? And we're not talking from a relationship standpoint. We're
Just
talking
general.
from general standpoint.
Yeah.
Right? And accountability is a big factor in that. Right? So as long as you can really identify and make peace with your flaws, right? We walk a smoother path.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
Say that one more
saying
time.
that.
Say that
There's
one more
nothing
time.
wrong with being
Being
wrong.
wrong, yes.
Yeah.
Facts.
There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with just genuinely not knowing
Yeah.
how to do something,
Yeah.
how to apply yourself to perform a certain task. This is not to me, men have this misconception that manhood is ego, right? And I honestly feel as though there's a mindset.
Yeah.
There's a mindset. So, me, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't.
I don't know.
I would
I'd
find
like to know,
I can ask
Yeah.
a question.
right?
Yeah.
I'd ask a question. You know? So,
That's a good
Yeah.
That's a real good definition, because most times we think that men know it all, could do it all, have the answer to it
I don't
all,
have it.
and when they
I
don't
don't-
have it, we think something wrong with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always say a man's supposed to know everything. Yeah. I can bet money that men out here cannot, but they don't know how to start to build a house.
Yeah.
I might know how to do that.
Yeah.
A Smokey might know how to do plumbing, but I don't know how to do plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
A Travis might know electrical. I might know that. Or Striker might know how to fix a car. I would carry my car by a mechanic. If I say I like common, I would carry by the mechanic. I'm not ashamed to say, well, I don't know what wrong. I carry the car by the person who know.
And it's a
Some men
serious
will watch
thing.
it.
I got
It's a
fixed by
serious
that.
thing.
And
Yeah.
Some men can't take go to show it, and you can't change a bulb in a car.
Facts.
Can't change a bulb, boy.
Yeah, you don't know.
No, but for all they say now, here, all they can change the bulb on a car.
I can do it.
Depends.
Every-
It depends on, it all depends on which
On
bulb.
which bulb.
It depends
On
on
which
which bulb it is.
Yeah.
Cause my
Yeah.
tailgate on my vehicle, I had to take apart the whole tailgate to change the bulb.
Terms and conditions.
Terms and conditions and circumstances.
Yeah.
You gotta know when you're outside that.
But I know.
Yeah.
I could call Smokey and say, Smokey,
understand?
Yes.
I'm about to change, boy.
What to do?
Yeah.
How easy is it for men to actually ask for help? Because Smokey has really set this tone in terms of, if we eliminate ego and we take it for what it really is, how easy is it for men to actually ask for help?
That ego
I
is
think it's easy now.
it might be easier based on your circle.
In all aspects.
All
Easy.
aspects.
I don't think it's not easy.
So that's what
It's not that
to
easy,
say.
but for me, it depends on what it is.
Exactly.
What it depends on the circumstance. I might be able to ask a question, but other than that, I quicker go and figure it out for myself. I go and it have avenues now. I could go and research it. I go and figure it out before. And if I still ain't getting it, then I might say, "Boy, Nako, you're gonna put your tail between your leg and ask a question." You know.
So it's easier to ask your friends in comparison to your partner? Or is it easier to ask your partner in comparison to your friends?
Depends on your partner and it depends
It
on your
depends on
friends.
It depends on the kind of partner you have.
Because that tough question.
Yeah.
That real tough. That's a circumstance. Because for example, let me say on a gig. If you're on a gig and something don't work right, the system ain't getting any drivers or whatever it is, and that's okay. But that somebody else watching it like, brethren,
You're
help,
supposed to
and
know that.
I dying here and I need help.
Yeah.
But they're watching it going no.
Yeah, boy.
So it's according to where you are. So sometimes it's very difficult to ask for help. According to where you are,
But you know,
and you deal with it.
people now, the person now watching you go down, right? Most times they want you to go down.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
they want to be able to come and be the person to save the show now.
Correct.
Especially in this industry.
Correct.
There are times I went and I jack in on my laptop, not connecting it. And it's pressure. I watching my laptop, boy, way boy. Way boy. What I go and do here, boy? And I
Men who
just,
could assist you stand up right
yeah,
now.
but who could assist you? They will just stand up there and they will turn and they drink it and they watch your laptop. That was going on.
So what we're saying is not only women are in a space where we feel as though other women fighting other women.
Nah, it's this
Yeah.
industry.
That holistic.
Yeah.
I think it depends on, again, situational basis. But there are some people that will render assistance and help you when it's convenient and easy to do. But anytime
Or when it
that
comes to
help
them.
cost them something, time that they're not willing to give. It have a financial attached to it that they ain't willing to take that risk with you. So my bread right now, thing, I know you're perishing in guilt, but it's either you or me.
Sink or swim.
You understand? And
Yeah.
some people will easily always choose themselves. And you can't really fault them for that depending on their circumstance. So a lot of time, like for me for instance, I realize I function in a space now where a lot of people who are my peers, they're going through similar to me.
Yeah.
Everybody overextended and, it's family and catching the table bills and things. So who I could call for help. So that's why now as a man, part of that problem, you gotta realize you gotta network up.
So
You gotta network upwards.
Smokey and X on the afternoon drive had a forum, and X was telling, what's his name? Who's he with you? Ishmaeli. Who you can call right now, this exact moment. All you laughing, I finished the question. They asked Ishmaeli, who you can call right now, in this exact moment, and say, hey, I'm under it, I'm over it, I'm between it, and I need your assistance, and they come in right now.
Where's the assistant?
Whatever your situation is, X was saying, who do you think you can call? He was asking to come and help you in this exact moment.
So me,
Well, you're laughing,
No,
boy.
because the list of friends just get like this.
Smaller.
yeah, it gets smaller, but
Yeah.
you see, that's how we can call too. As to who you consider a friend. You understand? Me, honestly, I am positive I have 5 friends I can call no matter the circumstance. Whether they're flat, whether it's, let me say, financial, let me say, some kind of advice, so on and so forth. I'm sure about that.
Everybody
That
have
could be a
5?
blessing, that could be a blessing to me.
Yeah, everybody have 5? Everybody have 3?
When you raise the question,
That's what I'm
it
saying.
comes to different things.
That's
So
what I'm
like,
saying.
who are going to? According to the situation, I go here, I go there.
This person.
I know that person will give me that strength here because that person don't have the strength otherwise.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
So
I might be able to scrape up a fight.
Yeah.
He says script. His own not coming naturally.
Nah,
His
it's
own
not a
have to
quick
script
five,
it
it's a
up.
script.
It's not a quick fight. It's not a quick fight.
It's probably not a quick 5 years. I might scrape that 5. I have 3 sure. But the other 2, I might scrape.
You be a little fee. Because Ishmaeli call the man and the man give Ishmaeli one sad story earlier. Ex you call the man right now, live. The man sent Ishmaeli south, bring him back from south, carry him pyramid, carry him wrong pyramid, drop him by red, pick him back up from red, drop him by the 7. Ex said, I know your friend.
Yeah,
That's your friend.
not for that situation.
In this industry, right? Smokey, how many years are you in this industry? Professionally.
I would say 12.
Nako, you. We come back to you, because like you have to think about that. Striker, you.
Well, let's say professionally, I wasn't really at 18. So about 15 years.
Travis, you.
I here about 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I was elsewhere for about 2, so about 5.
Right.
That would be about 15 to
15
18.
to 18?
Yeah, right about 15 years.
What is one of the biggest misconception about men in this industry?
DJ man.
DJ man, that's horn, boy.
What is one of the biggest misconceptions about men in this industry?
Now we rich.
The money, man. Yeah, man.
Well, alright,
Money,
there's
man.
that.
We
See
have
that
no
money?
problems, no issues.
Yeah, they have it, man. You get through.
Now we get you in life.
About
Now
6
we
K,
get
boy.
everything.
Bad, boy.
Play 5-3 and you're 1,000.
And you get money pull up?
Well, let me
And
make
you
some
get money pull up?
Tell them, you have nothing else to say.
Biggest misconception.
Biggest.
I think I come into the business knowing that there was a stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
Because fortunately for me, I was able to see ahead now. My mentor was 20 years in the business already, so I get to see a lot of what to do and what not to do. So So I learned from them. And the stereotype that, I mean, all things being equal, it well deserved, eh? Because men really played a hand too in this industry too. We being honest. If we being honest.
But they make it bad for
Yeah.
plenty, man.
But what I will say to a lot of people and people that know me personally, you can't take any entertainment personality at face value. What you see
True.
is just what we show.
True.
And you might just see a man on a set, but you don't know the half of him.
True. Yeah.
He probably have 2 acres of peas plant somewhere.
Yeah.
And your grandfather selling it in the market.
Yeah.
Men have the things going on to
Yes.
supplement what they're doing. So it's not all it's and giggles.
And glitz and glam.
Right.
Yeah.
This is all you do.
Yeah, this is
Nah.
all you do.
Nah,
Mhm.
you all don't know the half of it.
That time I got English. So he was like,
Yeah, you don't need groceries.
I want to know. I said, so I don't understand about.
What you doing here?
But bro,
You have to go in the grocery. Yeah, groceries at the buy.
Come on.
No, I mean, I am what, 2 years? And when I tell people my shift, the hours I work, your job real good.
real nice.
That's real nice.
3 hours that he did.
Well, you
Yeah.
get through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is all a definition. This is all a definition of get
Getting
through.
through.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
sure. Studio and that's that.
You don't have nothing else to do when you
Nothing else.
And you
So-
get a million.
Yeah,
Sure.
you reach. You reach. This was my first carnival season where I thought I was a ticket booth.
Yes.
But-
Oh, this was my first carnival season where I got the experience of people really thinking that I am a ticket booth.
Now you have the links to all the
I have all the links for all the feds.
always have cups.
A silly season. It was a really silly season for me. So I am learning as I go along, and you all are in this for so long. What has been one of your greatest successes or greatest moments being in this industry?
I would say for me, being able to, again, this is my opinion of myself, being able to balance that, to balance the industry and the humility.
Yes.
You know, it will have people
That's
who
a big
may
one.
want to stereotype me, right? You know, he's always serious, blah, 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 blah. But I am not a clown.
Yeah.
I can't walk around with a smile on my face 24/7.
That's not your personality.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
have
not his
things to do,
personality,
and that's
yeah.
not my personality.
Yeah.
But if you know me,
Mhm.
I'm a cool guy.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Let them
Always cool,
let
like-
them have it. Let them have
Yeah,
it. Right.
it's not a problem.
Mhm.
So to me, I would say
Striking that balance.
yes.
And that's an important balance, because sometimes people, both men and women, they get swell-headed
In
as
this
they
industry,
elevate.
You see it every day.
But I really not accustomed to it.
You never taste success
Yeah.
before now, but it's
Is it that way?
So you get
for some people, you know.
Know that there are some people in the industry successful and they live for that. So it's not like they never had it before. It's just like a white again.
Yeah, because like
choose a
for
rush.
some people it's like a joke now.
It is.
But it's a double-edged sword, because I would say to successfully exist in this industry, you need above average confidence, but not cockiness.
We agree.
So
We agree
It's
with
a
that.
strong mind
Yeah.
to really understand that
Yeah.
who's on the outside looking in.
So
Because
my
as you-
confidence might seem higher than what you are accustomed to.
So
Because
that's
what
what
you
I'm
are
saying.
accustomed to is normal level confidence. But I need a little more. But I still need to be careful to not be cocky
Right. So
and
that's what I'm saying.
condescending, you know?
From the person outside looking in.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, they already
They
think it's
don't.
cockiness.
Ole, break that
As you
down.
do so,
Break it down. Break it down.
as you do so, let me just say, all the time you are accustomed wearing a white t-shirt, only white,
Well, they're real laugh.
All of a sudden you're in.
only white. As you decide to wear blue or yellow,
He reach.
Look how even he is.
So as you move from white V-neck,
for example,
but not problem.
all the time you're in skinny pants, baggy pants, with years, living,
Yeah.
show off, thing. It's like,
So-
what are you talking about?
So as a man, as an announcer, as a DJ, how do you all really deal with being judged all the time because this is something that happens. That this comes with the portfolio.
Can't help that. You just gotta do you.
Me
Yeah, it's
personally,
You can't help that.
that doesn't faze me, you know. I firmly believe in it's when it's time for me to go to work, when it's time to work.
Yeah, I work in.
Judge me when I work.
That is the answer to the question.
I don't care about thing and your opinion about how I look and facial thing and
shit.
whatever.
Yeah.
When it's work time, but on all that, but they say now about that for that can make the place
He bad. He bad.
I will take that. I don't care
Yeah.
about nothing else.
Yeah.
And
It's a show up at an event. It's a show up at an event and let's
And give it to you
give it to all, and then
yeah.
they'll be like, hey, Papa, and that is to me that the joy.
Yeah.
And then
to me that is
might
shake.
still have that one or two will say,
Thy life though.
But
he played
must-
good, I like
must-
that.
that's
That's
like-
like-
He good. I'll tell you
But he
something,
passed
it's
shit.
must
Must get it.
that's some additional. You gotta be very mindful at all times. So there's some more responsibility that come with it. We could easily say, "But I don't care what people think, and I just do me." You could do that, and if that's your position, you could stand on it and feel comfortable. But then you also have to be prepared for the consequences of that, which is not being cautious when you need to, not being mindful of who you are, where you are, who you're standing up next to. Because remember you're in a position of high visibility. When you're on a stage or you show up like Smokey Shades, thing.
Friend, you have all your shades too.
No, but you're in front of others. So.
So you
But you
just use
understand what I'm
it.
saying?
Yeah.
So when you walk in a room or you in your realm, you in your workspace, everybody's seeing you because 3,300, you're visible.
And they hold you to a different standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
So
problem.
just
Yeah.
as when people see you stand up, and you stand up with some notorious, maybe underworld people, who say, boy, I fell out Smokey in this, Travis in that. Likewise, if you stand up with people who,
Yeah.
they amount as well, then that. Somebody go say, boy,
Check.
I Smokey stand up like with such and such.
It's
And
Check.
so, no,
Exactly.
I've been cautious.
No, but I understand what you're saying, but then it goes back to what Smokey was talking about, terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Right? It depends on the individual we're dealing with. It depends on how we receive things. It depends on how we send out messages also. But Striker, I get what you're saying, because for me now, it's about 3 times I have been caught, I have been identified by my voice alone.
Right.
And I tell myself when I reach outside, it has certain things are just not partaking in again. You could imagine I press line 3, good morning. Well, kill me that see you out there. Hey, no, go next and Tony come upstairs. And this just comes with our
for your brand,
yes,
correct.
this just comes with the portfolio. It comes with the portfolio.
Some blank in cartel.
Yeah. Must have been simple.
And it's a funny thing because everybody, like if you look at Tameeka, her demeanor, her dress code, her handle on things now, right? And then put her in a different space. And I remember we asked this question in the studio the other day when certain songs play. Without thinking, certain what we call Gaza songs play. What's the first thing you do? Nako do so.
Yeah.
Pop the gun finger.
Yeah.
So imagine Tameeka get caught in a concert.
What's them real blanks?
What's wrong?
Real blanks.
You might say what's wrong, but then there are people who have a different
Who
expectation.
will judge into that,
So
give
which
into
comes
that
after what?
terms and conditions.
You can't please everybody.
You can't please everybody. You have to be.
You have to be, and there's our next thing. A lot of people as well being confident within this, and I can tell you that because I just go through that in the early stages of my career. You understand?
Self-confidence.
But yeah, so it's like it's something you have to be willing to accept for you, because remember you, especially as a DJ, we don't care about your problems, especially
True.
on that stage.
True. Because you there
When
to
you
make them
go
feel
on a
good, eh?
stage, exactly. When
Yeah.
you go on a stage, let me say 20 people to as much as 20,000 people. Your job is to ensure that you take their worries, their issues away.
Away. Yeah.
You have to put it in your thoughts.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's like, so again, just using me, I will let the music talk. I cool with that.
I like that.
Well,
I like
I
that.
with Tom, Nako, thing.
More music.
I cool.
More music.
I don't let her define me.
my music, my voice, and that by itself goes.
Let that
We
be
are a few days from Father's Day. Right? We are the daddies on this side, we have the daddies to be on this side. One
How it
question.
end up?
Yeah, the daddies on this side. The daddy. Yeah, Smokey, not true. No, we just talking it into existence now. Daddies to be them fellas. I'm like, yeah, that's a, yeah. Here's Smokey, I didn't know that, boy.
I didn't know that.
One lesson that your father taught you. Wait, boy,
Wait,
wait,
that was like
wait.
I get real licks too, no, so every time you get licks is a lesson.
One lesson for the rest of your life as a man you will carry with you that your father taught you.
Every shake your dance.
Serious.
You are serious.
Yeah.
Where's Smokey on?
Stay true to
Striker, where's yours?
I would say humility.
Yeah, so that's stay true. You see that? Stay true to who you are. You be you. Yeah. So don't try to be nobody else. If you want to walk down this road and your friends going that way,
I know, sorry.
or your friends continue going your way.
Yeah,
You go meet on you reach by the dial.
Yeah.
There you know.
yeah.
You know, I think it's a shared lesson. Don't wag the tail, don't wag the dog.
Yeah.
Just talk about that.
Yes, yeah.
Everybody probably get that way.
One lesson each of you all will tell a young man who is still trying to identify his purpose.
Same. Every shake your dance.
Same lesson.
Yeah, same thing.
Same lesson.
Because there's some men that try to reach where hat too high, whatever it is.
Yeah, hang your hat too high.
Understand? So
Yeah.
you try to be, because as Smokey really say, two we go reach the junction. But
Yeah,
this part
reach
looking
eventually.
like the fast road. I want to go there too. But you don't have the equipment and gears to be on that road at this time. So I want to go that dance. You don't have the dance money back.
True.
You know?
That is so true.
Every shake
Your
your
journey is
dance.
not my journey.
Come on. So
Take your time.
I get it and I will sell it. It's just us.
All right.
Personally, I would do that with I've done that with peers, with my younger peers now. I tell them straight up from my mistakes,
Yeah.
right?
Even I had
I
conversations with
would
Dylan.
let them know straight up. Nah, you do thing. I know I telling him it's an experience thing, from up to big thing like that.
So, sometimes, yeah, just to tap off what Smokey saying there, because I had those thoughts and I shared the sentiment recently, actually. And sometimes you just had we just say people hard. You
Yeah.
talk to them once, you talk to them twice, they're still doing it. And sometimes you just had to let them learn. But it depends on the lesson, because the lesson, by the time you learn it, might cost you your life.
Yeah.
It might get you sick, it might have
Yeah.
some dire consequence that you can't manage now. But as long as what they're doing, you could see, well, all right, if the worst case scenario is to happen for them, it will still be all right. It's not going on, cost a life or limb and that kind of thing.
Striker gonna be a sugar daddy, yeah? We done we see it, that's already.
Sometimes, and I'll tell you why. Because sometimes we could rob them of the opportunity to learn how to do it.
True. True.
By spoon feeding them everything.
Yeah.
By giving them everything, you rob them of the opportunity to learn how to problem solve, how to deal with difficulty, because daddy
Exercise
solving everything.
critical thinking.
Everything
Yeah.
is called daddy, have a headache called that.
Yeah.
So you can't think for yourself.
Point.
Critical thinking. So you
Critical
had to
thinking.
let them solve some problems, some difficult ones to even throw it at them.
I agree.
Like Exhibit A, trying to identify how this shade case end up in my question
Because I
box.
put it there, I didn't want to hold it in my hand, I didn't want to put it to the
Critical
side.
thinking again. Right, everybody has to pull a question.
Smokey, you go first.
Smokey, you go first. Nako, you go. Then you read your question. Yeah, this next one. We now talk about critical thinking. You want an easy question. What Travis exam again? Alright, let's not all rush. Who going first?
Start there, baby.
Well, if we started here, we will start here. We will start. Yeah. Oh, go. We started here.
My question reads, who helps you love yourself more?
Deep one.
Wow.
It's
Smokey body here, boy. Nako.
Processor is slower now.
This one.
Exercise critical thinking, guys.
Windows 98.
Some people anyway.
Wow, boy.
But in ourselves, like, who helps you love yourself more?
Yeah, who helps you
In
love
ourselves.
yourself more? Your inner side.
Yeah.
Taking that. Striker, your turn. Man, hold on to that question, you know. You
This
go
is
to man,
deep.
think
Yeah,
about
this
that, you know.
deep, this deep.
That deep question.
This deep.
So this is, what is one thought that keeps you up at night? And it's hard to narrow in on one because there's so much. When you lie down in the night, sometimes you're processing so much. But just to give one, I would say my duty to myself and my family. Because I'm constantly thinking about what I have to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
And am I ready for tomorrow? And how to equip myself for tomorrow's challenges.
Yeah.
So it's always about a sense of duty for tomorrow.
I like that. Nako.
What is an experience that has changed your life? Becoming a father.
Yeah, man.
Becoming a father.
I'm also blank face for that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Bam, bam.
Now you have to,
It's like plenty.
you have to take care. It's not you taking care of it anymore, you know.
Somebody else.
Yeah, you have somebody else's life in your hands now.
Yeah.
So things I used to do,
I don't do them no more.
can't do them thing anymore. Things I used to splurge on before, life you used to live before, you can't do that anymore. You have
Yeah,
mouths to
responsibility.
feed, you have responsibilities.
Yes.
Children have to go to school, you have school books to buy, you have shoes to buy. And they always want to go 5 islands and they want to do this and that. So,
That is rich.
That is
That
rich.
is rich.
and they don't have any concept of how you're getting that money.
Nope.
Nah.
Nope.
They just know that they ask for this
And they need to get it.
and they want this.
Yeah.
And daddy had to figure out how to get it.
That's a real answer. Yeah. Smokey, your turn.
My question reads, admit something.
Alright.
It's a good, it's a safe space.
No,
It's a safe
again,
Safe space.
Let them have
you
it,
know what
again.
I admit?
Yes.
You see, like, me probably, I would say, like, 8 years old, 9 years old. I don't listen.
No.
Right.
I would not have been able to do this comfortably, right? Because I felt as though I would have been judged or
Yeah.
down or you know.
Yeah.
But what I would admit is, no, I'm comfortable to do this and more,
Yes.
and to even
Yes.
be able to take constructive criticism in this light. I mean, I could take it in other forms, cool, but you know, I could do that.
Yeah.
Like literally, and you would know that.
Correct. Nah, he really was. He has
You
the
would know
ball.
that.
I really think that's an excellent note for. Yeah, he cool. I think that's an excellent note for us to end on because everybody seems to be coming or have already found their place and their space.
I wouldn't say I've found it. I would say the journey, or should I say the marathon continues.
It continues. It continues.
Connection.
And like I love to say, once we have the opportunity to be, it means we have the opportunity to become.
That's right.
And that become could be anything that you want it to be.
That's
I
right.
just want to let you guys know that you all are loved, you all are seen, you all are appreciated. Just like Mother's Day, Father's Day is every day, right? Even, you know, sometimes if it's not
You find
biological.
I see.
Oh, God,
I will try and get no socks and things
I realize.
Yeah.
Rushing out in work.
Yeah, no ads on the radio for Father's Day.
Hear them that, oh God,
Yeah,
no,
but
the
I
Richard
know
have no
that
ads on the radio for Father.
But even at work by me,
It have nothing for Father's Day.
we did something for mothers. I had to message the Emmy today and be like, yo,
What's happening with the daddies?
so we do all this for Mother's Day. On the Father's Day.
That's
so
why,
we get nothing out.
and that is why the hub came here. Yeah, Smokey said, telling you, thanks for coming. That is,
You're strong.
see you on Monday. And
She was like, but Father's Day is not next week.
Make sure you buy bread, eh?
Oh,
Buy bread.
All you know that says a lot, right? As us as a society. You all know, all kicks aside, that says a lot as us as a society, right? And I really hope that one day the narrative happens to change. Because as much as we need mommies, we need daddies. As much as we need women, we need men. And you all know, because it's June and it's Men's Mental Awareness Month, I found it fit to just sit and have a conversation with the guys. You will turn on your radio too. They keep, as Smokey said, they keep you in a good spirit. So again, men, thank you. Y'all are loved, y'all are seen, y'all are appreciated. No, oh my gosh. Love, Light, Hub, and Red 96.7.
And
And report.